Peace. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Give y'all a chance to tap in and tune in with your boy, man. Again, I want to get a little deep on y'all today. So give y'all a chance to tune in, man. Hopefully y'all enjoying this Friday thus far. Staying peaceful, staying healthy, staying out of the way. Staying out of the mainstream matrix. Eli Smooth, peace. What's going on with you, my brother? How you living? I am J Money, peace. What's going on with you, Miami Soldier? Peace. What's going on? I am J Money Official. Welcome to the fam. Welcome to the family. Seville Stevens, what's going on with you, man? How y'all living? How y'all holding up? How y'all maintaining on this wonderful Friday? Hopefully everything is peace y'all way, man. Like I said, y'all not caught up in the mainstream matrix, all the negativity, all the chaos that's going on out here. Staying peaceful, staying centered. Terenzo, peace. What's going on with you, my brother? Oh, Eli, man, you already know that fast food gonna make you feel bad fast. We already know the fast food. We already know the poison behind it. Beautiful Goddess Keys, peace. What's going on with you? Lindell, peace. What's going on? Seville, meditation. Hey, that's a beautiful journey to be on. That's a beautiful journey to be on. And so now I want to get right into the topic for today, man. This is breaking down the difference between existing and living. A lot of people don't understand this difference. 90 to 95% of the population, in my opinion, just from walking outside and my experiences with people, 95% of the population, they are merely just existing. They have been programmed and they are acting according to that programming. To live is to deprogram from what the mainstream society has instilled in you and to program yourself based off of what you feel as though you deserve, what you want, what you need, etc., etc. So you have to deprogram from the mainstream conditioning and reprogram to the mind to something that correlates with your true nature. That's when you begin to start living as opposed to merely existing. So it's like we are merely just machines, we robots, and they have programmed us to act in a certain way. And most of us are acting according to that mainstream programming. And that's why we are dissatisfied. That's why we are depressed. That's why we are angry, frustrated, just fed up with life, because we are acting according to the programming of someone else. And that is in conflict with how we really feel like that we should be living deep down inside. So it's always that inner conflict, because the way that you truly feel about how you should be living is always going to be there. We just suppress it. So it's going to always create that inner conflict once we go against that grain. So that's why I tell people to never go against that grain. If you feel like there's a certain way that you should be living, always strive to manifest that reality. Every time you go against the grain, the depression gets deeper. The frustration gets deeper. It gets stronger. So stop going against what you feel that you need to be doing, because that's only making matters worse for you in regards to your mental or your brain health and your physical health. So that's only making matters worse when you go against the grain in regards to what you know that you should be out here doing. So if you feel like, not even if you feel like, we don't like to deal with feelings like that. We like to confirm it, confirmation, knowledge. We like to know. So when you know deep down and on the surface that you should be doing something totally different than what you are doing, find a way to make it happen. Don't make excuses. That's what we tend to do. We like to make excuses. We like to justify everything via excuses. Stop doing that. Where there's a will, there's a way. Tavon, peace, what's going on? Sean, my brother, peace, what's going on with you? And that is when everything is gonna start to elevate for you, when you start living. And I'm speaking from experience, man. I was just, like I said, I was just existing for the longest. Just going through the motions. Y'all know how that feel, man. You just wake up and you going through the motions. You doing what society has conditioned you to do. You doing what society has brainwashed you to do. And it's killing your creativity. It's killing the innovation. It's just killing who you are by nature. You are acting other than your true self. And it's destroying you. A lot of people can wear that mask well. I couldn't. So every time that I went inside the job that I was working, and I had to, what they say, fake it until you make it, I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it, man. And that created a lot of anger, a lot of depression, a lot of frustration. I just couldn't deal with it, man. I couldn't fake it. I couldn't act like this was something that I wanted to do. It was something that I needed to do. I could no longer put on that mask, man. I couldn't talk to people. I couldn't put on that fake smile. I just couldn't do it. It was killing me internally. So I was like, man, I got to get out of the game before I self-destruct. So that's exactly what I did. I was devising my plan to get out of the game before I self-destruct. A lot of people can fake it a lot longer than others. I couldn't do it. I couldn't go too long. I couldn't go too much longer about faking it. Dealing with the corporate world, dealing with some of these white people at those higher levels, trying to impress them like I care to impress them. I know my worth. I knew my worth. And they wasn't trying to compensate me according to my worth. And that'll lead to depression. But who are they to determine how much I'm worth? So I had to get out of that cycle, man. One thing I realized about the corporate world is like we always striving to impress these white folks, and that didn't sit well with me. That didn't sit well with me because I'm like, man, I'm worth way more than what they will ever pay me. And the only way that I'm going to get what I'm worth is by doing what it is that I'm good at, what I'm interested in, and what I'm passionate about. But if I never would have made that leap, I'm telling you right now, I'd be a totally different individual in regards to just mental health. So that's one part. That's one part, or one way that you can begin living instead of merely existing. So a lot of us, we are stuck in that corporate cycle, corporate America, and that's creating that existence that I'm talking about, that programming that I'm talking about, because they brainwashed us to believe that. You go through this system, you get this piece of paper, then you get this job, and you work this job for 30, 40 plus years, then you retire and try to enjoy everything. That's not the way that life should be lived. That's not the way that life should go. But that's what we have accepted, the so-called American dream, which I like to call the nightmare. And we have accepted it, and it's killing us. Donna C. Peace, what's going on? C.A. Boogs, what's going on with you? Address it for the future. What's going on? Justin, what's going on, fam? Montel, Germ God, how y'all living? Tavis Banks, what's going on? Yeah, Lindell, most definitely. Most definitely. And they got a hold on us in regards to the oppression. But again, like I said, a lot of us we don't know how to deal with and I was one of them. So this is knowledge of self. Some people can fake, some people can work that, some people can work within corporate America, some people can work within that matrix. And they can pretty much, again, like I said, fake it until they make it. They can live an artificial life. They cannot be true to themselves and their values for a moment. And they can use corporate America to kind of get where they want to get. I couldn't do that. I'm in tune with myself. Like, I just couldn't work. Corporate America wasn't for me. It's like when people realize that school, like college, isn't for them. Like, I had to realize that corporate America is just not for me. And that comes with knowledge of self. Like, I couldn't exist in corporate America, man. I couldn't live in corporate America. I wasn't satisfied with corporate America. That's just not my type of vibe. For some people, that's their vibe. So that all comes with being in tune with who you are, having that knowledge of self. You got to know who you are. You got to know what you are willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate. I wasn't willing to tolerate corporate America, although I did, but it was leading to my self-destruction. So I was like, man, I got to do something else, man. I got to become my own corporate America. Because they, again, not compensate me. I went and I played their game, like I said, and it didn't lead to anything. It didn't lead to anything. So I already knew that it was a trap. It was a trick. It was deception. I already knew that, but it just confirmed it when I started living out that reality. So I was like, man, this is nonsense. I'm not about to waste my time because I already know what the future holds if I focus on trying to move up the corporate ladder. I already know how this is going to go. I already know how this story is going to play out. So why even entertain that? Had to remove myself, had to make some sacrifices. But the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. So that's why I'm always telling people, man, to take risk. If you got a plan that you feel like you want to put in motion, just put it in motion. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. What's the worst that can happen? When you think about it in those terms, the worst that can happen is not necessarily that bad. It's not even that bad. It's not even that bad. They like to instill that fear in you. They like to instill that fear in you. Tell you, don't pursue this. Don't pursue that. You need to do this. You need to do that in regards to corporate America and then doing your own thing. They always discourage you from doing your own thing, and we know why. But take that risk. Make that jump. Take that leap. Again, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Also, low T40, most definitely. Tavis Bank, in a minute, there's going to be no such thing as retirement. Therapeutic game and peace, what's going on with you? Yeah, retirement, and then even still, like when you do what you love, really there's no such thing as retirement, especially when you love what you do. But in the corporate world, retirement, that's about to be dead. You're gonna have to pretty much work until you drop dead. You're gonna have to work until you drop dead. There is going to be no such thing as retirement in the future. So again, you might as well go ahead and pursue your passion and pursue your interest, man, and find a way to earn a living pursuing that. Plenty of different ways you can approach it. Plenty of different ways that you can approach it. Lindell, let's not get into selling out. And that's how I felt. That's how I honestly felt within the corporate matrix, man. I just felt like, although I stayed original and I always stayed true to myself, which is another reason why I probably didn't move up the ladder. Because the way y'all see me now is the same way I used to pop up in the bank. Hair just like this. Like, listen, I didn't care. I was true to myself. And that's why a lot of customers respected me and they liked me because I was true to myself, man. I didn't put on a fake voice or a different voice when they came into that bank. I greeted them the same way that I greet them outside of this bank. And a lot of people respected that authenticity. But again, we already know how the corporate world can go. When you're too authentic, when you're too original, then that's going to end up essentially holding you back. And I knew that. So I was like, man, I didn't reach the limit. I have a ceiling in corporate America, man, due to the fact that I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not about to alter my personality to try to fit in this corporate matrix. If you put me in a room with all white guys, I'm gonna be the same person that y'all see today. I'm not about to change up my tune. I'm not about to change up my tone. And they don't necessarily like that. And I already knew that. So I ain't got time to be at odds with this system and having it stress me out. I've watched that happen to family members. They didn't understand how this game goes. And they self-destructed. They couldn't understand for the life of them why they have more qualifications than this white man, than this white woman, and they not getting the same jobs, the same positions. I'm like, look at the game that you playing. Look at the people who are in control of this game. It's corporate America. Just think about what's going on. They gonna hire who they are comfortable with. They gonna hire more people that look like them, that reflect them. They not about to deal in equality. They not about to bring a bunch of us up that corporate ladder with them. When we talking about power, it's always unevenly distributed. So they're not about to have, if it's Walmart, they're not about to have 50% black, 50% white at the top. It's not gonna happen like that. It's not. They're gonna always make us appear to be the minority. So if it's 10 of them in this boardroom, then one or two people may be black. That's how they gonna do it. They gonna surround themselves with people who they comfortable with. And that's just a fact of life. That's why we gotta value ownership more so we can do the same thing. I get a gym chain. Best believe I'm not about to just hire a bunch of white people. I'm about to hire people who I'm comfortable with. And that's just an actual fact. I'm not mad at the white people for doing that. I'm not mad at the white people for doing that because I understand what they are doing. They understand each other. They relate to each other more. They just doing what anybody else would probably do. Again, like I said, I'm in the gym. If my gym chain grows, you're going to see a lot of people that look like me working in the gyms. I can trust them. I can relate to them. I can vibe with them better. I mesh with them better. That's just what it is. That's all coaches, all populations, man. They gonna strive to hire people who they comfortable with. So we already know what's going on. Ain't no sense of getting mad at the game. Ain't no sense of getting mad at the game. We gotta create a new game for ourselves. We gotta value ownership, boss up more so we can hire more of our own people, more people that we comfortable with. And I'm not saying, again, when I say that, a lot of people say, your own people do you dirt. We already know that. Just like white people hire one another and they get did dirty by their own people. So of course we're going to have to deal with that. Of course we're going to have to deal with that, but that's everything. That's everything. What I'm saying is when you get to that certain position at that certain level, you're going to hire people, you're going to bring people in that you resonate with. And that's natural and normal. It's just like, again, if you go to school and you don't know anybody and there's white kids over here, there's black kids over there, naturally you're going to go to where you see all the black kids at. You're gonna try to get in where you fit in. You're not about to walk to where all the white kids is at. That's just how it's gonna naturally happen. And we do that subconsciously, unconsciously. That's just what we do. Orlando, peace, what's going on with you? Constantly growing. Peace, what's going on? Oh, Alonzo, man, I know how I go, man. Just working in the bank. Like I said, I was always that token blackmail at the bank. Treasure Nest, that's the way you got to do it. Yeah, Therapeutic Military, and I can speak from experience with that. My father was in the military, man, and he got one of his pictures. He was the only, matter of fact, when this wasn't related to the military, but once he got out of the military, and because he's an aircraft mechanic. So basically the place that hired him, one of the only reasons why they hired him is because they needed a black person. So he got like a picture of like the team that he was working with, man. He's the only black dude on that picture. So, man, I'm not a fan of that position. I don't want to be given a position basically just because y'all need to hire some black people. Y'all need to meet a quota. See, that don't sit well with me. That never sat well with me. I don't want to be at your job when I know that you really don't want me here. I'd rather create my own opportunity, man. Because again, at the end of the day, when you get into these meetings, these team meetings, group think and things like that, man, your voice is rarely heard when you are that token black person. So no, I don't have time for that. So I was like, man, I got to create an opportunity for myself, which is again why I say I was merely existing. I wasn't living. I didn't start living until I freed myself from those shackles. I removed those shackles from my ankles, those corporate shackles, and I said, all right, it's time for me to take this sacrifice, take the leap, and that's when I began to live. Now everything is revolving around me. And a lot of people talk about security when it comes to these jobs, when it comes to corporate America. And we've already talked about how that's an illusion. No such thing as job security, especially in 2020. That really doesn't exist. If you feel like there's a such thing as job security in corporate America, you are sadly mistaken. You are sadly mistaken. Hertz 187, peace, what's going on with you? MC J Rocker, peace, what's going on with you? And Eli Smooth, no sir. When you eat the fast food, this the thing that's happening. You got to get that fast food time to run through your system. And depending on what you just ate, that can take anywhere from about 5 to 6 hours. So if you eat like fruits, all that's going to happen is that fruit is going to end up colliding with that fast food that you just ate, and it's going to ferment. It's going to rot. So it's going to become acidic. So you got to get that fast food time to run its course. And then that's when you consume the fruit. So a lot of people don't realize that. You never really want to try to eat a fruit or a healthy food on top of a bad or acidic or toxic food. That's not going to end well. It may make you even feel worse because, like I said, that food will end up rotting in the system. D, peace, what's going on with you? Tavon, and then cashier jobs, those jobs are about to be obsolete soon, just like what I was doing. Like I was in the bank and I just feel like banking is about to become more virtual, hence why I got out of the game. I'm looking into the future. I'm like, in a minute, man, they're not going to need bankers. They're not going to need people to do what we're doing. And they had already talked about that in some of the meetings that I was in. They was talking about virtual banking. Some banks are already like that. So I was like, man, it ain't no sense to me giving this place 2 or 3 more years just for them to get rid of me when they want to place these robots in charge. So I was like, man, I'm going to just jump ahead of this curve because I'm seeing the future. I'm already knowing what's about to happen. So I got ahead of that curve. So people are about to devote all this time and energy into these banks. And then when they say, okay, now everything is about to go virtual, we about to be a cashless society, which is coming soon, then they just going to get rid of everybody. And these same people that was talking about job security, they going to get rid of them. And this is what they going to do, because this is what they said when I was at the meeting. This is another reason why I got out of the game. I was at a meeting. They was talking about the future of banking. And a white lady, she raised her hand. She said, so if these branches are only going to need one person to run them, which the branch I was at, we had about 5 or 6 people. I think fully staffed, we was at like 6. So we gonna go from 6 to 1 because they say when it becomes cashless, the bank that I was at, when it becomes cashless, the branches will only need like 1 or 2 people for them to function properly. So the lady raised her hand, the white lady, she said, well, what does that mean for our jobs? And the white guy that was the instructor of the class that I was at and the meeting that I was at, he said, basically what's going to happen is y'all will learn new jobs. Basically, y'all gonna learn how to program the computers. So what does that mean for the black person? That means that the white people are gonna get the jobs in regards to programming the computers, and the black people are gonna be the odd ones out. So we not gonna be able to get those jobs. So they gonna eliminate. They gonna minimize the size of the branches. They gonna have 1 person in the branch, and then the other 5 that was there, they gonna learn to program the computer. They gonna diagnose the problem. If the computer's malfunctioning, they gonna diagnose it, and then they gonna send somebody out to fix it. So the black people, we gonna be the odd ones out. So I said, okay, I see where the future is headed. What's about to happen? Y'all about to get these jobs behind the scenes programming the computers. And y'all gonna get the 1 person that's gonna be in the branch, y'all gonna get that. Y'all gonna be the manager of the branch, and y'all gonna get the behind the scenes jobs, and we gonna be the ones that lose our jobs. So it's no sense of me even entertaining that and letting that depress me. I might as well get ahead of the curve and leave now. So that's what's gonna happen. A lot of people that was there, they couldn't see that, but I'm able to see that because I'm paying attention. Patrick, peace, what's going on with you? Yeah, Terenzo, it's most definitely already cashless, but just in the banking world, just on a technical sense, what I was talking about, because we still got personal bankers and all this type of stuff, and you can still come in, withdraw. It's about to get to the point where that is all eliminated. Like the possibility of even coming in the bank to get, to withdraw funds and deal with an actual person, about to be totally eliminated. It's going to be all virtual. You're going to be talking to that computer screen, and that computer screen is going to solve all your problems. And if the computer screen is not giving you the answers that you need, then you may talk to that 1 person that's inside that branch. Yeah, Orlando, and that's the way. We gotta boss up. We gotta boss up. Brandy Madden, what's going on with you? Yeah, Dominique, man, we gotta stock cash, weaponry. So we gotta cash, guns, like I said, books and bullets. We gotta have everything. We gotta have everything stockpiled, man. We gotta be in full survival mode. We gotta get in full survival mode, man, because when things pop off, when things pop off, man, again, all we gonna have is us. This same system that we continue to put our trust in, that's gonna be the same system that kills us. It is the same system that's already killing us. But it's gonna be even more real when things really pop off. So again, man, we gotta stockpile on everything. We gotta stockpile on everything. Like we gotta stockpile on everything, man. And we can't be falling victim. We can't fall victim to the okie doke. We gotta invest in land. Investing in land is crucial. All D Monty Magic, you already know. If you're talking about that knowledge of self book, that's that joint. That book is powerful, man. That's why I recommend everybody to read it. Yeah, Brandy, that is a very good option. Dominique, in regards to banks, the creature of Jekyll Island, that gives you the whole history of like banking, the Federal Reserve System. It's a thick book, but that's a good one. The Creature of Jekyll Island. That's a powerful book. And then another good book is called They Own It All. And I forgot who wrote that, but it's called They Own It All. That's another good book. Those are two good books in regards to just like banking, man, the history of the Federal Reserve System and all of that. It talk about J.P. Morgan, Chase, and just all of that, man. It goes into it. Talks about the Rockefellers and all of that good stuff, man. It just lets you know how this system came to be what it is today, where the corruption stemmed from. So like I said, man, we gotta get into the game of ownership. That's when we really gonna start. That's when we really gonna start living. I don't feel like as black people, for the most part, I don't feel like we were made to enrich white people. I don't feel like we are here to enrich white people. I don't feel like that's our purpose on a collective scale. So I always feel like we need to stop doing that on a collective scale. So I don't feel like that's our purpose, man, as a people, to be serving these white folks, to be enriching these white folks. I just don't feel like that's our purpose. I don't feel like that's what we are here for. Like that's not it, man. We serve a greater purpose than what we are currently demonstrating. We serve a much greater purpose than what we are currently doing. We are a much greater people than what we are currently demonstrating and showing. So it's time for us to show how great we are. It's time for us to really activate that collective greatness. Like we really gotta unify, man. We gotta show and prove. We always talk about the ancestors this, the ancestors that. We ain't nowhere near close to what our ancestors was doing way back in the day. We haven't came close to reclaiming that glory, but yet we always talking about it. We talking about it, but what we gonna do about it? Like what we gonna do about it? Like we talk about the richest black man in the world, Mansa Musa. But what we gonna do? What we gonna do to get back to that position? What we gonna do to get back to that status? So at some point, we got to stop talking about what the ancestors did, and we got to start manifesting some of the great things that they did today. So we get too caught up in that history, talking about what our ancestors did. We get too caught up in it. And we become passive. We become passive, man. We just talkers, man. We got to start doing. We got to start being. The action got to reflect what we are saying. So that's when it's gonna become real. That's when it's gonna become real, man. Y'all don't understand the struggle, man, that I've been going through, man. I have tried to start groups and whatnot in my area for a long time. And the consistency is just frustrating. I done tried to get people to come together, man, so we don't have to rely on these banks to put money in the pool. Like, I've tried to do all of that, man, where I'm at. So it's like, it's hard to do it, man, especially the people that's closest to you. People that you feel like you can trust, they be the main ones that won't participate in something so simple. Like, we all got large families, man. Just imagine if, just on a family level, just imagine if we can come together on a family level. 10 to 15 of your closest family members, if y'all just came together and put $100 up a month, man, just imagine what y'all can do. Just imagine what we can do if we just put $100. And this is just dealing with the family, our immediate fam. Just imagine if we came together with them. Closest cousins, brothers, sisters, mother, father, grandparents. If we just put $100 up a month, we wouldn't have to go rely on these banks. We wouldn't have to go try to get these loans from these banks and then get depressed and frustrated when they deny us the loan. And we know why they denying us in the first place. And that's another thing, man, that be frustrating me, man. We really too dependent upon them in regards to, oh, we need a home, so we got to go get the loan from the bank. Business loans and all that type of stuff, man. We too dependent upon this system to give us that loan, that handout. Now we can create systems amongst each other that provides us with the funds that we need. We don't need to be crying wolf to these banks in order to get the funding, man. It's enough of us that we should be able to come together and get that funding that we need for whatever the endeavor is that we are striving to pursue. So I don't like that we feel like we got to keep depending upon these banks and this system, man, to just do things that we need to do. So a lot of people, that's one of the reasons why they won't even pursue an endeavor, because they be like, well, I can't, the bank ain't gonna give me a loan. That right there is the defeatist mentality. You don't need the bank. There are other ways to get the funding. But then in the same sense, I can understand that, because it's like when that black person feel like his own people won't support him. So that black woman feels like her own people won't support her vision. So I can get that in a sense. So we need to really change that dynamic to the point where people won't pursue an endeavor because they like, the bank won't give me a loan. Well, we should be able to say, the bank won't give us a loan, but I can pull the resources, getting these 10 people together, and then we could pull the money that way. And then in a year or so, I have the funds for this business, and we keep rotating the pot. We should be able to do that, man. There is no reason why we shouldn't be able to do that. Like, period. If the bank deny you the loan, we should still be able to generate these funds. Oh, Dynasty, and I can imagine the backlash you got. Oh, Marlon Joseph, I'm already hip. Like I talked about in the previous video. I got a whole term life insurance policy. And once that mug accumulates the value that I'm waiting for, I'm gonna be able to borrow against that. And I'm gonna be good in regards to when I need some funds on top of what I'm already doing. So that's one thing that I always tell people to do too, is get that life insurance policy. That's one thing I learned from talking to, and a lot of people say, oh, that's what the white people, no, I got that jewel from a black business owner. My man's got a bunch of insurance policy on his nieces and nephews and all that. Dude got a bunch of insurance policies. And that's when I kind of said, all right, man, let me look into it. So I got mine about 3 years ago. So insurance policies are definitely a good way, man. But it's a lot of different ways to generate funds, man. You talk about crowdfunding. I mean, there's so many different ways you can generate funds without having to actually go to a bank and trying to get a loan. Like, it's a bunch of different ways that you can generate funds. But getting that life insurance policy is a good way, because it's going to accumulate that value, man. And then just collecting things, man. People sleep on just collecting certain things of value. Getting assets, man, gaining assets. Oh, Beast by Bless on our music. Most of that, man, they profit off of our ignorance. They profit off of our beef. They profit off of us entertaining them. And it's been that way for a minute. Nero, what's going on with you? Orlando, and that's where it's at. That's where it's at. We got to start playing chess with them. And Donna Seed, and that's what And honestly, I'm glad you spoke on that because I wanted to do a video. I read something that was interesting in a Malcolm X book called The End of White Supremacy. And he was breaking down the difference between separation and segregation. So I really wanted to kind of build on that because what you just talked about is what I feel like the solution is. But the only way that will work is if the white folks agree to leave us alone, or we build our own military to defend our community. Those are the only two ways it's gonna work. Because we can build our own communities, but we know how the white folks they come in and bomb it. And we don't have a defense mechanism set in place to defend these communities. So when we build the community, we need to make sure we have a military to protect it. Because even if the white man agreed to leave us alone, I wouldn't trust him. And that's just going off of his history. So I wouldn't necessarily even trust him if we agreed to it. So we would have to have a military. But that's my solution to the problem. We need to separate. We need to separate, meaning, listen, we gonna go on this side of town and we gonna do our own thing. Y'all on that side of town, y'all do your own thing. We not gonna bother y'all, y'all don't bother us. And then if we need something from y'all side of town that we don't have, then we can work out an agreement. That's the type of life that is what I feel like the solution is to the problem here in America, man. We really need to separate. Marlon, appreciate the donation. Yeah, D-Monty Magic, and that's one thing I had to realize, like that if I'm going to ever come together and do something like that, it's probably not going to be with family. But I'm one of those individuals, like this type of stuff, man, I'm real big on trust. So I don't trust a lot of people. And it takes a lot for me to trust you. So like with that in and of itself, like I'm not a real trustworthy person just from a lot of things that have happened in the past, a lot of things that I witnessed. So when it comes to things like this, I always start with family first because I feel like I can trust them already, some of them. The ones that I feel like I can trust, those are the ones that I reach out to. So I'm starting with them because I feel like I can trust them. So then when it comes to people outside of self, now I got to build up that trust, and that's going to take time. That's going to take time. So I start with who I already trust, and I try to work from there, and I feel like that's what we naturally do. Then we just end up disappointed. Because in your mind, it makes perfect sense. Like, man, let's just pull this money together. We don't need this bank. We got enough people within this family that's making enough money to where we can create our own banking system here. But again, like I said, I'm just dealing from a level of trust. Because I don't have a circle of people that I rock with. But I tried to create a group like I talked about with the knowledge game. And I'm still cool with most of them brothers. And it was like two sisters that was involved with it, that we actually met up. We met up at my people's crib. So I set up the knowledge game, man. This was right around the time I was in college. I set up the knowledge game, man, and we had like 2 meetings. So I was operating just like, you know, how they operate. We had closed door behind the scene meetings and we was discussing some things, but I lost the momentum. So I need to get back on that. But it was like maybe a good 7 of us, a good 7 or 8 of us, in that knowledge game, man. And we was coming together behind the scenes. Nobody knew that what we was plotting. We wasn't filming the meetings. We was just coming together behind closed doors, undisclosed locations. We wasn't putting stuff on live, even though it didn't exist at the time. But we wasn't putting all that type of stuff out here, because that's how they track you and watch how you move. That's how they set you up. So we was doing that. That's exactly how we got to move. Just like they had these groups that meet in secret and private, we got to do that. That's part of what I'm striving to do, man. When I set up the whole function or the workshop for 2021, we got to move in silence. We got to move in secrecy. We got to do that. And matter of fact, they got that from us, the ancient Egyptian mystery schools. So they got that tactic from us. This is how we already was moving and living. That's how we already was moving and living. We just got to get back to that. We got to get back to that. Social media don't necessarily need to know everything. So we got to get back to it. And that's how they be getting us a lot. Heck, that's how we set each other up, because we all on social media, going live from this location, that location, then wondering how people getting shot and killed. Man, get off of live. Stop letting everybody know your whereabouts. Stop letting everybody know what you planning to do. Stop letting everybody know your plans. You don't have to do that. The moment that you do that, best believe they watching. They tapped in. They tuned in. They always, what they say, Big Brother is watching. He always watching and listening. Always. That ain't gonna stop. Savon, most definitely. And matter of fact, that's what took me so long to do what I'm doing, man, because I didn't want to partake in being on camera like that. I was more so behind the scenes. But I understand basically this is just part of my purpose. It's part of my purpose. People was telling me for the longest, man, you need to YouTube, write a book, this, that, and the third. And I was just more so behind the scenes. I was like, if I do something, it's going to be behind the scenes. I'm not going to be on the camera. But I understand that this is part of my purpose. So I must do it. I must do it. Justin Green, most definitely. And that's another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I actually know a brother that's doing a holistic thing, man. So, yeah, so this is one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. How many large black-owned gym chains do you know? Just how many black people do you know have ownership in the fitness space? It's not many of us. It's not many of us. It's not many of us at all. And I'm striving to fill that void. It's not too many of us. It's not too many. Like if you talking about anatomy, if you need a book on anatomy, if you need a book about physical exercise, fitness, and things like that, you're not about to find too many black authors in that regards. Now, nutrition and all that, we got that. We got a lot of holistic health practitioners and things of that nature. But when it comes to like the physical aspect of it, man, just fitness, working out, it's not a lot of black people in that. It's not a lot of black people with ownership in that field. So I feel like that's a void that I need to create and fill. Not a void I need to create, but a void I need to fill. Yeah, Chris, and I would that exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. I witnessed that. I'm like, man, it's not enough of us. And I was even like, I was striving to read just a lot of fitness books. I'm like, all right, let me see if I can find some fitness books written by some brothers and sisters, like some actual physical fitness books. Hard to find it. So I said, nah, this ain't gonna work. I don't like this. Oh yeah, D-Man, we need everything. We need everything. We need expert, and we got this. We got all of this. We just need for them to separate themselves from the European matrix, from the corporate matrix. We got experts in science. Heck, I got a cousin, man, that got his master's in physics. So like we got all this. We just we take our talents to their establishments. But we need to take our talents and we need to utilize them to build our own. So we got experts in science, every branch of science. We got experts in fitness, in nutrition. We got experts in history. We got experts in English. We got experts in math. We got experts in everything. But the thing of it is, our experts take our talents to the white institutions, to the white jobs, to the white plantations. No, take your expertise and utilize it to build something to help your people. Oh yeah, D-Monty Magic, most definitely. And I'm gonna get more into computers myself because I'm semi-decent with technology, to the point where I was almost about to do some IT work. I was about to pursue that if I wouldn't have been doing this. So I'm gonna get deep into that, man. I was starting to learn coding and all of that type of stuff. I was self-teaching myself that. So I'm gonna learn how to assemble a computer. Like that's one thing I want to do. Dominique, man, Nip was my dude. It was messed up the way that he went out, man. You know, when you build things and you build them in your own community, like we say, it could be your own people that tear you down, man. But he did what you're supposed to do, man, in regards to just building and putting things back in the community. But y'all know the hatred. So the thing of it is, the way I view it, when you reach a certain status, I'm not about to be that vulnerable in regards to Just being out in the open without some protection or without some security around me. And I'm talking about like Farrakhan. Try to get up on Farrakhan if you want to. The FOI ain't about to play with you. So when you reach a certain status, I mean, I know dudes they feel like they don't want to walk around with the bodyguards, with the security and things like that, man. But when you reach a certain status, bro, at some point you just got to do that. You got to be wise. So if I ever reach the point, best believe I'm walking around like Farrakhan. You might not even know the people that's around me that's protecting me. But best believe if you're going to see me out in the open like that, I'm not, listen, I got some protection either on me or around me. And you don't know where it's going to come from. So when we reach a certain status, man, I don't care where you go. If you go amongst your own, you go amongst the white people, you need that protection. Oh, D-Monty Magic, you already know, because they committed to protecting their own. So they not gonna be all through the U.S. They just gonna protect their own, and rightfully so. That's what that's their nation. Only if we can collectively come together and see that, hey, that we all we all are good. We all need that protection. That would be better. But it is what it is. You know, that's their nation. They gonna protect their interests. I get it. I get it. Just wish collectively we can come together and we can have that protection all across the board. But the FOI, man, it's a great example, and they, for the most part, just on the surface, don't even carry weapons. But I'm not even against weapons, man. You gotta be strapped out here. You never know. Oh yeah, Dominique. Like I said, at the end of the day, it ain't even about being in fear. I know at the end of the day, I could hold my own if it came to that. But dudes, don't nobody fight these days. So I ain't even work. Like at the end of the day, I know it's not gonna come down to a fist fight. It's not gonna happen. So if anybody gonna do anything to you, more than likely it's gonna be gun violence. So with that being said, if I reach a certain level or a certain point, and if I go to certain neighborhoods, then no, I'm not even gonna take a chance. I'm gonna have something on me. I'm gonna have some people around me that have something on them. I mean, that's just period. And I feel like Nip was at that level. Yeah, I know you at your own spot. I know you feel like you're around your people that you grew up with, but no, sir. I'm not even saying that would have saved his life. Somebody want to take you out there, and they gonna find a way to do it. But I'm gonna take proper precautions to make sure I'm good. Oh, Denise, and I can most definitely see that. And that's the problem that we gotta fix. That's the problem that we gotta fix, man. We striving to make change, but it's frustrating dealing with your own people. And I can give y'all a prime example. Just being a trainer, I try my hardest to train my black people, but my black people give me the worst excuses known to man in regards to why they may not come in, why they may not be as consistent. And I be striving hard to get them in here. Striving hard, but the excuses that we come up with as a people, man, in regards to doing the things that we need to do, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. When I was at the commercial gym, I had more white clients than I had black clients. And it was more black people that worked out at the gym that I was training at. But more of my clients were white people, man. I just couldn't get my people to see the value in paying for this training. And they were the most out of shape. They were the most obese. They were the most sick. But yet I couldn't get them to realize that this is an investment. Instead, they was worried about going on trips. They was worrying about buying all these clothes that they don't need. They weren't willing to make the financial sacrifices that were necessary in order to take the steps that were required or are required to improve your health. And that was frustrating, man. That was hurting. And even today, I created this establishment and I just want to deal solely with my people. But it's like of course, they just let me down the most. And it'd be worse when they let me down because I really want to help them. I don't want to see you walk down that path as my brother, as my sister. I don't want to see you walk down that path of disease, of chronic illness. You already got all of these ailments. And yet you make an excuse after excuse as to why you can't stay committed to the gym. Stay committed to eating right. Like that hurts me. And it shouldn't hurt me more than it hurts you. That's bad. When I want you to be more healthy than you. Yeah, Dominique, like I said, I already know. Every time I was at a commercial gym, man, when I was at the commercial gym, I got the white people. Oh, that's all it costs? Okay, sign me up. Now, of course, I'm not like I had some committed black clients as well, man. But for the most part, I had my white clients, and them white clients they included me in their budget. So I may get a black client, but then after about a couple weeks, then all right, they stop showing up. You stop seeing them and stuff like that. The white client will pencil me in. I'm a part of their budget, just like they got a phone bill. I'm that type of priority for them. I'm with the phone bill. I'm with the grocery bill. So I'm a necessity. So I'm included in a monthly bill type deal. Black folks, no, any given time they feel like they need to go on a trip or they need a luxury item, then them staying in shape is not a priority. Oh, Chris, you got it then. Hey, I wish I had that around me. But I had to do what I had to do for self. Everybody else gonna follow suit around me. Oh yeah, D Monty Magic said you she said you overthinking it. And that's what they tend to tell you. Yeah, Tavon, people definitely had no shame, man. I mean, it's coming to the point where they feel like, and as a trainer, this hits a little bit harder for me because you get accused of like body shaming and stuff like that. But it's like, now obesity is truly a health concern. I'm not saying, well, I am saying embrace who you are, embrace how you were made. But at the same time, when you embrace who you are, you need to also embrace your health. So obesity, I mean, that's just a scientific fact. It's an actual fact that it's a health risk. It's bad. It's straining on the heart. So you don't want to necessarily walk around carrying excess weight. That's not body shaming coming from like a training perspective. Now, I'm not talking about the people that's just out here disrespecting you, calling you fat, this, that, and the third. I'm coming to you from a health concern perspective. I'm concerned about your overall health and well-being because you're carrying around excess weight and it's straining your heart. I know what this can lead to. So we need to try to chop that body fat down. We need to try to chop that weight down. So it's not body shaming, it's me looking out for your overall health and well-being. Marlon, man, your environment can be everything. It's only a select few, as I said. I mentioned all this in the last video. I said we got to learn how to not become products of our environment and instead produce the environment that we seek. But see, it's only a select few that have the power to produce that environment. Most of the times, we're going to become a product of our environment. So your environment is everything. Just look at some of the success stories of the people that came from bad neighborhoods. That's a small percentage. That was that one person that came out of that neighborhood opposed to the thousands that exist within that same neighborhood that never made it out. So it's always going to be that small percentage that's able to rise above the circumstances in that environment. So the environment is crucial. As they say, it takes a village to raise that child. So that village is crucial. That environment is crucial. The people that are around you are crucial. Hence why I don't hang around a lot of people, because it's crucial. So I choose my environments wisely. And that's why I got up out the corporate game. That environment was stressing me out. The people in that environment were stressing me out because they didn't like the job and they was complaining all the time. And that was rubbing off on me. That was affecting me. So I was like, man, I got to remove myself from this environment. It's unhealthy. It's toxic. So your environment is everything. And like I said, only a select few will be able to produce the environment that they need, that they want. So for the most part, we're going to become products of that environment. Hence how they was able to place us in the, not place us, but hence how they was able to create the type of person that they done created, because they put us in these certain environments, projects and things of that nature. And they created the monster by creating these conditions that will create the monster. So they created the environment, they created the condition, and they knew what the result would be. They knew what would happen if they placed a lot of poor black people in this, they clustered them together in a small environment, and they didn't fund it, and everything was just poor. They knew what would happen because they did that with the lab rats. They knew if these people didn't have enough food to eat, then they would start destroying one another. So they knew that was going to happen. Product of your environment. They knew exactly what would happen, man, because they've done the studies. They knew exactly how that was going to play out. So that's what they did. And that's how we became products of that environment. And that's how we have become predictable. Because like I said, they created that condition. They created this monster. Yeah, they definitely created it. They definitely glorified it. They glorified it, and D-Monty Magic, they gonna always have that fear. Everything stems from that fear / admiration. They fear us and want to be us. And that's just a fact, just historically speaking. They fear us and they want to be us. Sean, most definitely. Terenzo, and I definitely agree with that. And again, when they legalized the weed, we already should have saw what was going on there. We already should have saw what was going on there. Yeah, Eli Smooth, we call it the trap. Like Andre 3000, man, he mentioned that. He talked about, look at the word trap. He mentioned that in the track, man. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's been out here. But that's why they call it the trap. And we don't even realize, that's why I say the power of words, man. Everything is powerful. We don't even realize what we're saying to ourselves. Calling it the trap. Just listen to that. Just listen to it. Projects, man. Just listen to it. And for the life of me, I can't stand the word the ghetto. Like, I can't stand ghetto. Can't stand it. I do not use that word. I can't stand that word. I just can't stand it. I do not utilize that word, and I hate it. That is one word that I hate, ghetto. Despise that word. And Brandy, I don't collect gold and silver. I was getting into that a while back, and I might get back into it. Oh, swag, yeah, I never use the word ratchet. That's just, yeah, that was automatic. I was never going to use that word. But yeah, ghetto, I just can't stand it. I can't stand it. The reason why I can't stand it is basically when it's utilized, like especially when black people use it, and when they say, oh, that's ghetto, or I'm ghetto, like, dude, you talking bad about yourself, you talking down about yourself, you talking bad about your people, talking down about your people, and I'm not necessarily a fan of that. Now, yeah, TZ official, yeah, they definitely love to see us kill ourselves. They love it. They applaud. They love it. They love to see that so-called black on black violence that they had a hand in. They love to see that. They love to see it. They love to see it. That's why I tell people, man, we playing right into their hands when we start doing things like that. I'm going to give y'all a song to go listen to, man, when my mans dropped the jewels on just like everything that be going on and how they be profiting from it. But Carmega did a song called Industry. Man, he broke it down, man, just lyrically speaking. He broke it down, man. Carmega did a song Industry, man. I'm talking about he broke it down. He broke it down. Percy, peace, man. Appreciate that donation. Oh, swag yourself. They been, yeah, like I said, when you read Tookie Williams' autobiography, he talked about that. How the cops used to take the rival gang members, so he'll take the blood and drop them off in that Crip neighborhood. So they creating that violence. But again, they won't tell you that. They won't tell you that. Then when you come out on the surface and you acknowledge that, then they call you a conspiracy theorist and they say that you overthinking and all this type of stuff. But they got well-known cases of that. Then we know how they would plant drugs on certain people. So we already know how they do that. Matter of fact, my pops told me a story about how a cop threatened to do that to him. He was like, look, if you don't if you don't obey to what I'm telling you, I will plant some drugs in this truck and I will lock you up. Like, this is some stuff that was told to my pops. So we know how they get down, man. They dirty, man. That's why we don't rock with them. That's why we call them pigs and things like that. We don't rock with the swine. That's why we call them that. Percy, the reason why I don't, it ain't that I don't curse. It's just like maybe when I'm on this live stream, you won't hear me. Even when I'm dealing with my clients, I don't use curse words, man. I just feel like I trace it back to self, right? So back in the day, I was a foul mouth machine. And that stemmed from frustration. So I had a lot of anger problems. I had a lot of anger problems back in the day. And one thing that I would do a lot of when I got angry is curse. So this was a sign of discipline for me. I said, all right, one way I'm gonna get this anger under control is I'm gonna watch what I say. I'm gonna watch my language. So I'm not gonna curse, because to me, when I curse, that's associated with anger. So it's like a trigger for me. So I only cuss out of anger. So when I don't curse, like, it controls that anger. It controls that temper. So that was one way that I got my temper under control, is discipline. It's that self-control. So that's one of the main reasons why I don't curse, because I felt like when I cursed, I lacked control of myself, because those are the only times that I really cursed, outside of maybe listening to some music and vibing to some music. But for the most part, when I would start cursing, I was lacking control. I was angry. I was frustrated. When I was in my right state of mind, I didn't curse. So that was one of the reasons why I just eliminated curse words, man. It was self-control. And then again, I didn't need to curse to convey my points. But it was just a lack of control. Every time that I found myself cursing, I was angry and I was out of control. So I was like, nah, I gotta stop something. And that was one thing that I chose to stop. I was like, all right, I'm just stop cursing. Nikki Peace, what's going on? Oh yeah, Terenzo, most definitely, and it's definitely a form of empowerment. I recommend that to everybody. If you got a foul mouth, because like I said, I mean, I use every other word was a curse word, because I was angry, man, just anger management type deal, man. So every other word is a curse word. So if you got a problem with just using curse words, like, hey, just try to fast from those words. Try to fast from that language. Try to refrain from that language. You're gonna realize that it's harder than you actually think. Harder than you actually think to refrain from curse words when you used to cuss a lot. And that's when you're going to realize the lack of control that you may have over yourself. Little simple things like that will make you realize a lot about yourself. Because the first times that I was trying to do it, I was failing. I was like, dang, man, I realized I couldn't go without cursing. So it took a lot of strength for me to refrain from doing it. So like, if I would have been on here doing these videos maybe 10 years ago, oh, it would have been curse central. I would have been cursing, and I wouldn't even been thinking about it. To the fact where I would have been kind of unconscious of how much I was actually cursing. Yeah, Emery Moore, and that's one thing that's another thing too. I also read the autobiography of Malcolm X when he talked about how he studied the dictionary and just memorized the dictionary. I took that to heart. I said, man, I'm out here cursing. My vocab is limited. So I studied thesauruses, dictionaries, and I still do that to this day. There's a lot of words out here. Way better words to utilize. And then that's an educational point. So if you use a word that don't nobody know, you educate them on the meaning. Terenzo, most definitely, like I said, my pops, military. And that's where we got the cursing from. Like, my mom, she doesn't curse. So that's another, I also inherited that from her, because she doesn't curse. So I watched that and I noticed that. Well, my pops, boy, no, that's military. Boy, like he's still to this day. Well, he got that sailor mouth. Like, my pops don't care. He let loose. Oh yeah, beautiful goddess keys. And like I said, that's another reason. Like that's just why that's just why I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it because like I associate those words with anger and frustration because that's the only time that I use them. Like I said, outside of like just musically speaking. And even when I had started rapping, like prior to me changing up my message, cursing, that curse words is foul, man, explicit. Then when I changed up, man, I was like chameleon there. You didn't hear any curse words in my music for the most part. Maybe one or two. Oh, Denise, most definitely. When we talk, see, one thing I gotta mention, and I always have to break this down when I use the word they. One reason that I have to use that word is because I always just gotta acknowledge the role that they play. Now, of course, we're gonna deal with accountability because at the end of the day, we are supreme. They want to be us, they fear us. So we have the power at the end of the day. But the reason why sometimes I say they, and some other people may say they, is acknowledging the role. But at the end of the day, it's on us to like reverse the roles and to reclaim our glory. But I do have to acknowledge the role that they may play because a lot of people think that they don't have a role. And we know who they are. When we're talking about the system, we know who those people are. But we just like to talk about the role that they have played in regards to our condition, because that's why they are referred to as the unseen hand. A lot of people don't see their involvement. A lot of people don't see their involvement in our condition. So you got like a lot of policies and laws and things like that have been created with that intention to keep us beneath them. So we have to acknowledge that. Like that's big, that's important to say, okay, they create redlining. That's something that they created. That's a law that's working against us. So we got to acknowledge the fact that they created this law. So then now that's when we come together and say they created this. So then what are we going to do to combat it? But they, in fact, created this. TZ official page, yeah, the N word. Yeah, and then like I remember I did a song, man, with my homeboy, and man, I had broke down like the origin of the N word, and I was like how NGR is an Egyptian term for God, and I was like add IGE, you got nigga. The picture, the black man is God, but they tricked us. Like that was one of my lines in the song. So I remember, man, back when I was rapping, that was a line that I spit in a song, and I broke down basically the origin of the N word and how they flipped it. So that's crazy, man. The way that they kind of flip that word, when you go back and you trace it to Egypt, you got NGR. And you look up what that means in the Egyptian language, and it's crazy. So I was like, man, I put that in the song. That was one of my better verses. That was one of my better verses back in the rap days, man, which is why that's one of the reasons why I might need to get back into the studio, man, and just spit that type of stuff, man. But that was a cold little verse. And that was the type of stuff that I was putting in songs. So I was just like, man, if I keep putting this type of stuff in music, man, it ain't gonna end too well for me. So I had to start focusing on behind the scene things. Dominique, man, it might be a video or two of me up on YouTube. I got a few videos on it, a few videos up. But what made me put the mic down? Somebody just, D Monty Magic. I mean, it wasn't necessarily that. I was joking on that because I ain't worried about no fear. I was just dealing with a lot of people I couldn't fool with, man. I had did like a little mixtape, man, and the dude wasn't sending me my songs. The dude wasn't mixing and mastering my stuff right. Like I was just dealing with a lot of stuff on that end that I just got tired of dealing with. And I didn't want to learn how to do all that stuff on my own, man. I just wanted to rap. I had all the stuff on my computer, like I used to record myself and things like that, man, but I was trying to work smarter, not harder. And I kept walking into people who I couldn't necessarily rock with, and I ain't had time for that. So I just got fed up with that process and that system. So I was like, man, I'm good on it. I'm good on it. Like I just wanted to get my message out, man. I ain't really feel like mastering how to master and mix my own music. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to go into this studio, or even I can record myself, send it to you, and you do what's right. And I mean, I had finished the whole mixtape, man. I'm talking about this joint would have been like on some Dead Prez, Let's Get Free type of vibe. I did about 7 to 8 joints. It was gonna be an EP. Dude still got my songs to this day. Dude still has every song to this day, and I used to continuously hit dude up like, man, where is my stuff? Dude never gave me my stuff, man. So dude still got my stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm good. All right, Jizzy Diablo, peace. What's going on with you? Max Ray, man, most definitely. I most definitely can relate to that. Like I said, I'm on that chameleon vibe. Beats by Bless Zone Out Music. It's nothing to it, man. I got a homeboy of mine just got back into it, and he started sending me a bunch of beats and stuff. So at any given moment, like I said, man, I was putting out some heat, man. Y'all can go look up one of the tracks, man. It's called One Shot Remix. And I was on there with two of my other homeboys, man. But that verse in and of itself, like I was just dropping the facts after facts, the stuff that they don't want to hear. And that's what I was on. Yeah, D Monty Magic, man. It was crazy because we was working on something, getting the guys together, like having a little group in this particular area. And some of us was doing like music together back in the day, and we were supposed to have a little group or whatever. It could have been like the modern day Wu-Tang, man. We was about to straight create that or recreate that. We was about to do that. We was about to recreate the Wu-Tang, man. You was about to see a bunch of us using that slang. And some of the guys that's around me they still want to do that. But like I said, I was on a whole different vibe, man, with some of the content, the music that I was on, man. I feel like it was ahead of its time at that point, man. Like if it's one thing I'm confident in, it was some of the stuff that I was on musically. Airview, the name was gonna be what was it gonna be called? I think it was like the Saudi 7 or something like that. And the reason why we was gonna use Saudi is because, again, if y'all familiar with the Nation of Gods and Earths, like we like to name our territory. Like they call it St. Louis, we changed the name to Saudi. That's what we did, and we was gonna use that, and we was gonna call ourselves the Saudi 7. And y'all know about the science behind Saudi Arabia and things of that nature. So TZ Official, we invented all types of music. Tarba, I coach in St. Louis. Well, Brandy, yeah, I mean, he got, like, I basically recorded the joints at his studio. And so basically, I trusted him. At this point, I ain't have a hard drive. And that was my fault. I should have had the hard drive. But I was just like, I was recording, man. I was in the zone. So I knocked this thing out in probably like some weeks. And I was just like, man, just email me my stuff, man. And it just didn't happen. So normally I would have a hard drive, and I'd get the stuff as soon as I was done. But you know how the rough copy go. So he was supposed to mix and master my joints and then send me the finished joint. Never got the finished joints. Never. And then one time I got one of my joints mixed and mastered, and then that joint was like, it was sped up, it was off beat, it was trash. So y'all gonna get me back. Y'all gonna get me back in that music zone, man. I was in it. I was in it. Like y'all might make me even try to spit that verse back off of that song that I just mentioned to y'all, man. Because again, like I said, that verse was powerful. That was right around. And if y'all see the video, I had the blueprint to Black Power. I had that book in the video that we did. So I was on it, and this was before this was like even popular. But that was one of my favorite verses, man. That in the song, the video that we did, that One Shot remix, man. That was my joint. Like that was my joint. If I can remember the verse, man, like I said, that was so long, and I used to be good just going into the studio one taking it. I ain't used to when people say they ain't used to write. That's crazy. I mean, I love writing, so I write, but I had good memory, so I write it. I look at it like once or twice, got it off the top of my head. Oh, yeah, most definitely. And Jubilee, man, like I said, if I if I can gather that verse off the top of my head, I spit it, man. But I can spit bits and pieces of that verse off the rip. Beast by Bless Zone Out Music, man. If you want to send something to my email, which is basically just my last name, BELL, and then ERICJ@SAU.edu. You can send it to that, and I can rock out. Like I'm gonna try to give y'all a sample of that verse. Man, what I say? I came into the verse and it's that one shot. When y'all hear the beat, it just flow a lot better to the beat, man. But I came into it just off the culture. I was like, peace, God, the God of my cipher. Trying to keep the evil out, but see them demons be fighters. They took our history and then they tried to rewrite us. Melanin be prevalent, man. They just want to be like us. They say I'm angry. I tell them that's right and exact. Dark skin versus light skin. Brothers don't like to be black. That was part of the verse. That was the way I came into that verse. That was the way that I came into that verse, man. That was one of my, like I said, I got the snapping in the video. Like I had got the snapping in the video. Yeah, but like I said, if I had everything memorized, I could have kept going because I had acknowledged a lot of my ancestors in that particular song. But like I said, I can't remember it like off the rip from after where I had stopped at when I had said the melanin be prevalent, man. They just want to be like us. They say I'm angry. I tell them that's right and exact. Dark skin versus light skin. Brothers don't like to be black. I think I said something about I speak that power to the truth, bringing the light to the track. And I forgot what I said after that. But then I was like, what I say? I was like, Malcolm X is what I stress. Huey Newton, we shooting. I got Garvey. I forgot what I said, man. I done forgot. But once I did that breakdown, I used all my ancestors, man. I put Garvey in there. I put Malcolm in there. Huey in there. I put Asada in there. Went crazy. And then me and my wife, we actually got a song that's out. We did that some years ago. Oh, that's what I said. I said Malcolm X is what I stress. Huey Newton, we shooting. Got Garvey's in my armies. Fred Hampton's recruiting. Got Asadas in this movement, sister soldiers be booting. Got to keep our books and bullets because we know they plan new intruders. That's what I had said. That was that line. That was that line. When I had broke that down, that had the people that knew, they went crazy. Yeah, the people that knew the people that was on that history, they had went crazy when I had spit that part. The people that was on that history tip when I had said that. And that was all, like I said, in one verse, but y'all can hear it to that beat, and it was a lot crazy. But the song me and my wife got, that mug was crazy. Like now that joint was crazy. And I did that basically. The joint me and my wife did, I did that off the top. Like I did that off the top. I don't even think I wrote it down. And it's called It's called Queen's House. And I think you might be able to find it on YouTube, Queen's House, and you can type in one of our names, both of our names, and it should come right up. Now, my verse to that, I did a different type of flow. I ain't even about to try to do that one off the top, because I literally forgot what I had said. I had to hear the song, and then it'll come back to me. But that verse was crazy, and the reason why that ain't resonate with me, because I didn't write it. So it was just strictly off the top, so I had to hear it one time. But I was on the politics, man. Like I said, I don't know if y'all. I also had like a little freestyle I did way back in the day, and this mug went viral. This freestyle I did back in the day went viral before going viral was a thing. I did a political freestyle, man, and I was talking about that was right when Obama had got reelected, I believe, and they had called Osama. I did a whole freestyle about that whole situation. And that mug had went viral. Y'all already know kind of where I was coming from. Oh, Nikki, that song was classic. Like I said, I didn't write that joint. I went in there did a one take, and left. So I honestly feel like music is something that I got a lot of music in my family. But I just feel like that was one thing that I was like destined to do because I was so good at it. Like I'll be able to just memorize things, and then just the stuff that I was writing, I feel like that was one of the best forms of expression. But that political freestyle I did, man, that's when I started getting that, because that joint went viral. This was like 2010. It went viral, and that's when I started getting a lot of threats. That's when I started getting a lot of threats. Because I came out of that gate, man, what did I say? I was like, the government is full of tricks, manipulating the blind, the awakened, there's no escaping. They infiltrating the mind, the Illuminati and Masons. They penetrate with the signs, but we stuck in this matrix trying to break the design. See, mentally, people don't understand my level. And God we trust should be replaced with ran by devils. People look at me in disgust like this man's a rebel. They say I'm digging my own grave. I say, hand my shovel. That was that freestyle. So you could imagine, and I ain't even get to the controversial stuff that I said. Like I had said some things in that about Obama, man. I played that whole situation down to how it was all a game. How it was all a game, but I can't remember that verbatim because that was like more so off of the top. The one, man, appreciate that donation. So I'm trying to remember just some little lines that I said within that freestyle, man, that stirred up a lot. So matter of fact, I remember it too. It was the day after they had caught Osama. Because I remember that I said yesterday we celebrated the death of Osama, but the non-existence of one man ain't gonna relieve the stress in Obama. The stress and the trauma. So that's what I had said. So I remember saying that. So yeah, that was the line that I said. So yesterday we celebrated the death of Osama, but the non-existence of one man ain't gonna relieve the stress and the trauma. Okay, that was just an heroic attempt to get the people to re-elect Obama. Yeah, so I remember I had broke that down. Antoinette, peace. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How everything holding up your way? Oh, Joski, man, y'all get me back into the bar. Y'all get me back into the bar game, man. I used to put out little political freestyles and all that, big time. I used to have a huge problem with the system, and I used to let them know via my art form, which was like rap poetry at the time. But like I said, I came across the wrong type of people. But I felt like, man, I could have created. I mean, I still can do it, man. But I had put out I had an EP, man. I had went into that studio, man. I had laid out some tracks. I had laid out some tracks, man, and that took a lot of energy to lay out them tracks. but I'm trying to remember some other bars that I may have had that I didn't put out or maybe did put out. But it was a few tracks that I did, man, where we was going in. We was going in. But that Only Politics song that I did with my homeboy, that was classic. That was classic when I broke down, like I said, when I broke down the origin of the N-word. And matter of fact, on that Only Politics song, I even talked about how they killed Bobby Hutton back in the day. So I even traced that history. So I was putting all that type of stuff in tracks when they killed Bobby Hutton. My boy Antonio, what's going on with you? Nero, man, like I said, I can drop the email in the comment section, but you already know. This Only Politics song that I'm talking about, I had mentioned religion in that. And that's when I had, cursed. That's when I was back in my cursing zone. But I definitely had mentioned something about Christianity and that, and how it was forced upon the slaves. And basically how it was just something to get us to behave type deal. So it was something along those lines, man. But I had that Only Politics, man. It was a lot of little history condensed into like 16 bars on that joint. But like I said, man, I was on the rap tip for a minute. But it won't take me nothing to get back to it because, like I said, the inspiration is easy. I got a bunch of stuff that I can just talk about and go in on. Beast by Blood Zone out. You wasn't playing. You check that out quick. Yeah, boy, finally caught the live. Yeah, you tapped in. Yeah, Nero. I feel like that. I feel like rapping. Honestly, I feel like that's probably more so, like, that would be more my lane. Like, if I legit took it serious, like, I feel like I'll make a lot of noise in that particular lane. I just wasn't dealing with the right people. But it's nothing for me to put out something. I do, like, I had an objective. I wanted to put out one album that was just spectacular and real revolutionary. Like one album, man, where I touched on some of everything, man. I just wanted one album, man, about 15 tracks, just going completely in on everything. The one most and that's what I'm saying. I was ahead of my time. I was already on YouTube and Ustream back in the day. I just didn't ride the momentum. So when I did that political joint that I had just said, that mug went viral. That mug went viral. Like it was a few notable people in the hip hop space. They had saw that joint and was rocking with it. And I didn't ride that momentum. And this was, like I said before, YouTube is what it is today. Like I had that joint. So you already know I'm good for the acapella. I rock with the acapella joints because I just couldn't rock with people. Like people wasn't doing right. So I did a lot of things on the acapella end. I can always do that. Man, just off of the top. I can go off the top with some political rap. Just give me 2 minutes to think about something, and then I'll come off the top with some stuff that's crazy. For about a good 4 to 8 bars, then I'm gonna have to think again. But y'all, we know how that go. TZ official page, man. What did I have? I was gonna basically recreate the message to the black man, but I was gonna call it Message to the Black Fam. That was one of the titles that I have. I was gonna get real disrespectful with it. I had some very anti-USA type of titles. And then the album cover, I definitely wanted to have something to do with burning the flag. So I was it was just like my initial vision way back in the day when I was like on some Khalid Muhammad type, I was gonna get real disrespectful. I was like, man, what's the most ignorant title I could have? I was like, what is the most ignorant title that I could have? Man, I was gonna get ignorant. I ain't even about to say some of the other titles that I had, but I was gonna talk about white folks boldly on one title, but I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. But I had some real ignorant titles. Oh, the one. Listen, y'all know the culture that we come from. I was literally gonna make some, and I was gonna title it "The White Man is the Devil," and I was gonna leave it at that. So I was gonna be on it. That would have caused all type of problems, and I was gonna break down. We was gonna have the first song that would have been released would have been Yakub's Theory, and I just would have went in. But that was gonna be one of my titles. So that wouldn't have worked. I probably would have had to leave the country if I would have came out with that joint, and it would have got some attention. But I was literally gonna label one of my albums that back in the day. That's how fed up I was with them as a people. So I was just gonna name the album that. Hey, the one appreciate that donation. Yeah, that would have hurt him. But again, I was gonna do like a compilation. I was gonna, like, the white man is the devil, then the black man is God. I was gonna have it was gonna be two sides to that. So it was gonna be that one, and then I was gonna show y'all who God was, and that was gonna be a different album. It was gonna be like 10 songs apiece. So I was gonna give you their history, what they known for, what they've been doing to us on the white man is the devil portion, and then I was gonna talk about our story on the black man is God type deal, and that was gonna be 10 and 10. So that was something that I had in my mind. Hey D, I appreciate that, man. Like I said, that was that was my joint. That was my joint. But yeah, if I would have dropped that, that would have been the end of me. Y'all wouldn't be seeing me on this live. Nope, that would have been it. Most definitely probably would have had to be back somewhere in Africa. Cause they would have got me. I probably wouldn't have made it back to Africa if I would have came out with that. Which I would still do it. I would probably name it differently so that I could, trick the system type deal. But I was gonna be bold. Yeah, I was a bold person, man. Back in the day, I was bold. Like I said, that's another reason why I didn't move up corporate ladder. I was bold. I didn't care. If I thought it, like once I came across the truth, I was speaking it. Man, I had a video back in the day. I don't know if it's still up, but I was talking about the white man is the devil. Like I literally had a video breaking it down. I ain't care. Like I was like 25, made this video breaking it down, breaking down what we mean, breaking down how how that's misinterpreted when we say it. So I broke all that down. Oh, TZ official. Yeah, like I said, I can easily put this stuff out. Now it'll actually be a lot easier now. See, back in the day, it was a little bit harder to do all this stuff. Now it'll be easier. It'll be easier to put the stuff up. Like I'm already well versed on how to put stuff, on iTunes and put it on the streaming platforms, so I was doing it back then. But I was doing everything by myself, so I ain't have a team around me musically speaking, a solid team of people that I can consistently work with. So I just said, all right, forget it. Like I said, I'm big on trust, man. Once you do me wrong like one time, I might not rock with you. TZ official of the Inner Mass book, that's basically how to protect your immune system, how to strengthen your immune system via the foods that you consume during this whole pandemic. So that's pretty much what the book is about. Nero, we gonna speak in code. We gonna speak in code. And I got a perfect code that they don't understand because it's in our lessons. See, we call ourselves colored folks when really we not colored. They are the colored man. So in our lessons, that's what we refer to the white people as colored people, the colored man. So I would call it the colored man is the devil. And they would think that I'm talking about us. So I already know how to flip that script. So we refer to ourselves as colored folks when that's incorrect. We are not colored people. We are the original people. They are the colored people. You make them mad, what do? They turn all different types of colors. They are the real colored people. But that's a whole different spiel. That's a whole different video in regards to breaking that down. But that's what we call them. We call that the colored man. When we say the colored man, we talking about the white man. We're not talking about original people. We're not talking about black, brown. Yellow, red, we not talking about that. We talking about the white man when we say color. Oh, Nero, most definitely. And I've been getting a lot of signs telling me, signs telling me that I should probably get back into doing it. Get back into doing music. And that was just good for for just stress, anger. I was expressing myself, man, better with poetry. Literally, I feel like I can communicate better by writing like a poem or writing a rap opposed to just verbally communicating. Like, I feel like if I went live and recited a poem, like, I can convey my point better than just talking to y'all. That's how good it was in regards to being a stress reliever. Oh, Terenzo, man, appreciate it. No doubt. But I feel like the industry kind of missing the type of vibe that I was on. Like, it's some people out here with, you know, what they call conscious content, but I feel like I was aggressive with it. And I feel like that's what the game has been like. I was aggressive with it. I wasn't afraid to talk about the white folks. I wasn't afraid to tell you on food the government on the track. Like, I wasn't afraid to do that. Like, I had that Pac energy. Like I said, a lot of people got that Pac vibe. They say they got that Pac vibe from me. So I wasn't afraid to do that. D. Monty Magic, no sir, wouldn't have signed no type of deal. Not at all. No sir. And my homeboy that I'm talking about, what's crazy is he was on Instagram getting DM'd by Jadakiss. So I was like, okay. I said that, you know, proud to see that for my brother. Hopefully, man, they can collab, man. But I was like, that's big. That's big. So it's just like all signs, man, stay committed to it. Heck, and people used to tease me. They used to call me Jay Electronica. They used to call me Jay Electronica because they was waiting on me to drop a solo project. And they said it's going to be when I'm 40 when I drop it. So I got called Jay Electronica a lot. Oh yeah, Brandy, man, and that's what, and honestly, that's how I feel. Like I said, I just have to commit to it. Oh, Antoinette. Oh, yeah, you talking about K Reno. Man, listen, that's one of my favorite rappers. I'm friends with him on Facebook. If I definitely got back in the game, that's one person that I would do a collab with. When he dropped that Grand Deception, that's when I got hooked to him. But K Reno is one of my favorite rappers. If it's one person that I would do a collab with, K Reno would be one of them. K Reno would definitely be one of them. Yeah, Terenzo, Brother Lynch is actually I fool with Brother Lynch Hung. Yeah, I fool with him because I'm a big fan of horrorcore music too. So Brother Lynch Hung is my favorite artist in regards to that genre. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Brother Lynch is my dude. Yeah, Tony, when I was Illuminati Bell, that was a classic Facebook page. Facebook got rid of that page. But I was Illuminati Bell on Facebook. It was a whole Illuminati movement on Facebook. I was on Facebook as Illuminati Bell, and I used to let them have it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get back into it. As far as like the music, because like I said, man, that's just something that I'm always connected to the music. I'm always listening to it. I'm always connected. Oh, Sean, whoa, you talking about conscious rappers? Man, you finna get me started. We talking old school, new school, don't matter. K Reno, Killer Priest, Hellraiser, Poor Righteous Teachers. Of course, Brand Nubian when you go back to the day, King Son. Wise Intelligent from the Poor Righteous Teachers, his music. Dope, Dead Prayers, those are my dudes. Paris, that's another good dude. Immortal Technique, of course. Another underrated little group, Lost Children of Babylon. They pretty cold, they pretty deep with the music. People be sleeping on Cannabis. I like Cannabis. A lot of people don't like dude, but I like Cannabis. Man, who else am I missing, man? It's a lot of underground cats that I be rocking with and rocking to. Man. But those are like the people off the top, like K Reno, Killer Priest, Hellraiser. Those are some of my favorites, man, in regards to the content. Poor Righteous Teachers, of course. Yeah, Master Ace is definitely dope. Master Ace is definitely dope. Jaru the Damager, to Talib Kweli comment, Yasin Bey. Man, I don't know if y'all rock with I don't know if y'all rock with like Tech Nine, but hey, I actually like some Tech Nine stuff too. I don't know if y'all rock with dude, man, but I just like the way that he moves as an independent artist. So I rock with a lot of things. I rock with some Tech Nine. But I say Killer Priest and K Reno, they really opened my eyes a lot. Then AZ, he's one of my dudes. Carmega. And yeah, D Monty Magic, Starlito and Don Trip are my dudes, man. I stay rocking Starlito and Don Trip. I stay rocking them. Yeah, KRS. Y'all already know Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, and all that good jazz, man. So you already know that. Go Kool Mo D is another one. Kool Mo D is definitely another one. But yeah, man, Hellraiser, that's somebody that's under Shabazz the Disciple. Like when you go back to Sons of Man, like they was dope. They was dope. Killer Army. Y'all know RZA, his brother, yeah, he's in that group, but Killer Army, they dope. But Shabazz the Disciple he would drop some jewels on you. Jamar Peace, what's going on? Yeah, D Monty Magic, I'm a fan of like the old comment. Dominique, my favorite as far as underground is K Reno. K Reno Killer Priest. One of those. K Reno Killer Priest. I ain't really I don't know how to choose between two. It's probably be K Reno, man. K Reno catalog is crazy. But I rock with a lot of K Reno, man. That dude is informative. Then, like I said, Mortal Technique. I was on a Mortal Technique a lot back in the day as well. So I was on a lot of Immortal Technique. Then AZ, like I said, Cormega and things of that nature. Yeah, man. If Master P just focused on mastering the art of rap, like he didn't necessarily care to be the best rapper, which he already acknowledged that. But man, if he just cared to put any effort into him actually rapping, that would have been crazy, man. If he would have put some message behind his music, that would have been crazy. But as a businessman, that's my favorite businessman, man, as far as P. But yeah, he already acknowledged he wasn't trying to be the best rapper. Okay, yeah, so y'all fool with Tech Nine, yep. Oh yeah, Pop, my top five in no specific order. And then I'm a big Bone Thugs fan. I always let y'all know that. Bone Thugs Harmony and Goody Mob too. Goody Mob, one of my favorite groups, man, as far as they older work. Big Goody Mob fan, and a big Bone Thugs fan. Goody Mob first two albums, I may know all of them verbatim, word for word. But as far as like my favorite, Pac, Scarface, K Reno, Nas, and then if I had to go to fifth, just based off of pure just inspiration, somebody that inspired. I say Dead Prez probably inspired me, like M1 and Stickman probably inspired me like no other duo. So I'll probably put Dead Prez in there, man. But off the rip, Scarface, Tupac, K Reno with Nas, and who I don't like a lot of people. Yeah, I don't like a lot of people. I don't like a lot of people that a lot of people like. I don't rock with Jay-Z. Never really was a Biggie fan. Cannot stand Kanye. Not too big. I used to fool with Wayne way back in the day. Don't care for Wayne. Not nowhere near close to a Drake fan. And yeah, you already know the little female rappers that be out here rapping that's mainstream. I don't rock with them. I go underground for the females like Cyrock, Shay Noir, Narubi Salah, Rhapsody, Jean Grey. I fool with that aspect of women's rap. But yeah, I don't rock with a lot of mainstream dudes like Eminem. Not really a big Eminem fan. Yeah, Outkast, my dog. I feel like Andre 3000 gets his flowers, but Big Boy gets underrated. Oh, Torenzo, that must have been dope. Immortal Technique and Dead Prayers, that had to be dope. Yeah, Big Crit, my dude. I even fool with Jay Electronica, even though it take him forever to drop something. Oh yeah, Jamar, Nas is my dude. AZ is my dude. Carmega is my dude. Like these, I rock with all that. I rock with all them. Then like you go back Public Enemy. We ain't mentioned Chuck D. And of course, all the Wu-Tang. Jizza is my favorite member of the Wu-Tang. Jizza and Inspector Deck. So a lot of people like Ghostface, Raekwon, Method Man, like my two favorite, Jizza and Inspector Deck. I rock with those two out of the Wu-Tang, out of the Wu. And Big L was that dude. And Razcast, when he dropped Nature of the Threat, that was one of the tracks that put me on game. Nature of the Threat by Razcast. That's when I got the books that I mentioned yesterday about Shakamusha Barashango, because he mentioned them in the track. Yeah, Magic Realms. Kanye definitely lost touch with something, but I never was in tune with Kanye to begin with. I never really cared for Kanye, like ever. But he definitely, like the industry definitely got to the brother, man. But I never was really a fan in general. Yeah, David Banner. I used to rock with David Banner way back in the day, man. When he dropped Mississippi album, he was with Cricket Letters when he had the group. I was rocking with him then. Oh yeah, D Monty, Quincy Jones. I ain't gonna say that. It's a big name that I really don't fool with. That ruffles a lot of fellas. I don't even want to mention it. Y'all may unsubscribe to me if I mention this big name that I really don't listen to like that. That the world thinks is the greatest thing ever. So I don't even want to mention it. Because people might think I done lost my mind if I say to this person that I really just don't listen to. I really don't listen to him like everybody else. The person is Michael Jackson. I never really listened to Michael Jackson like that. Nor Prince really. I've never really listened to either one of them. Like I never really care for the music that they put out like that. To the point where I feel like they the greatest to ever touch the planet. So I never really rock with Michael Jackson and Prince like that. A lot of people be like, oh, that's crazy. I just like, man, from a personal perspective, I never really rock with them like that. Yeah, D, you got it. But I never rock with either one. And people be like, that's crazy. I'm like, you right. I was like, you right, that might be crazy. But I just never could get with their music, man. I tried time and time again. I just never could get with their music. I ain't taking away from what they did. But I just could never, like, I'm just not about to go out of my way to bump some Michael Jackson or some Prince. Like, I'm not doing it. Dominique, I ain't never really study him as a person because I never really too much rock with him. I think that the childhood myth, I got a myth for y'all in regards to my childhood. Apparently, my mother and my father have told me that I was afraid of Michael Jackson. So when the Thriller video would come on, I would run. I would run away. That video was spooky back in the day. But apparently, when that video used to come on, or when that video came on, I would run. I was afraid of that video. So maybe my dislike for Michael Jackson is deeply rooted in my childhood. According to my parents, like I couldn't tolerate the Thriller video. Yeah, so I feel like that Thriller video scarred me or something when I was a child. So I don't even know, but I feel like that video may have scarred me, and that may be the reason why I just never really fooled with Michael Jackson. D Monty Magic, you already know we can get into the theories. We can get into that. That too, you know. That too. Oh yeah, Jamar, yeah, Lauryn Hill, yeah, boy. Yeah, Lauryn Hill, that'd be a whole nother video. That'd be a whole nother video. A whole nother video in regards to her. gladly enough that we got enough female artists that was able to, take up that slack for what she failed to give us. But at some point, I started to view Lauryn Hill. At some point, I had started looking at her as basically kind of being a little bit overrated, honestly. Elon Smooth, what's crazy? Cause I ain't want to be the old dude to be like, nah, this young music is this, that, and the third. I actually had listened to that to King Von when that whole situation. I had never really listened to him, but I listened to him after the situation happened, and that dude wasn't too bad. And then that one dude, what is his name? NLE Chopper or something like that. Dude just dropped a new joint, and that joint kind of dope. Her first out, what I mean by overrated. It's what I mean by overrated. The Miseducation Lauryn Hill, of course, yeah, classic. But that was the only thing she gave us. So when people start saying that she was the best, this, that, and the third, that's when I start saying overrated. You can't be the best in my eyes and you got one body of work. I don't care how great that body of work is. When you got other female artists and you got other artists that have given you 4 or 5 or 6 classics, she just couldn't be ahead of them. So that's what I mean by overrated. I no longer place her in my top 5 female artists. Like, I don't do that. I don't do that anymore. Like, we gonna go people like Cyrock, man. They just got too many albums out here, man. Just too many classics, too many bangers, man. Just back to back to back. So they putting out the work. So that's what I mean by overrated. Not saying that the quality of music was overrated. It was just me ranking her that high. So we dealing with sheer potential when we talking about Lauryn Hill. If she would have did this, well, she didn't. And it ain't a situation where she, so it is what it is. I just can't rank her that high anymore. It's too many people that I feel like then surpassed her in regards to the work that they have put out. Yeah, Damian Marley is my dude. Damian Marley and Nas, when they did that Distant Relatives, man, that's underrated. That's underrated. Yeah, Jamar, and that's what I was just about to say with Biggie. Even Big L didn't put out enough work. Not his fault, not his fault, not Biggie's fault, considering what happened to him. But again, I just can't. How can I say Biggie is the GOAT when people like Scarface got more albums than him, and he got better albums? Like DMX, man, people sleep on DMX, man, but DMX, the late 90s, DMX was the GOAT. This dude dropped, 2 platinum albums in the same year, so DMX was the GOAT for him, man. Before y'all talking about Jay-Z, man, DMX was that dude. DMX was running the game in the late 90s, man. I'm talking about 3 platinum back-to-back, 3 classic albums back-to-back. DMX did that. And I like DMX up until the Grand Champion. So I like the first 5 or 6 albums DMX dropped, I play them all the way through. But in the late 90s, DMX was on top of the game. DMX to me was number 1 in the late 90s. Jay-Z lucky DMX got strung out and the industry got a hold of him. Jay-Z lucky. Because I know y'all remember they was beefing at one point, man. They was ripping them to shreds, man. DMX and the locks, like Jadakiss was killing Beanie Siegel. Yeah, man, they was killing them. Man, Jay-Z and them couldn't see DMX and the Rough Riders, man. They couldn't, like lyrically speaking. Lyrically speaking, man, DMX was way better, to me, still way better than Jay-Z. Yeah, Jay-Z definitely a thief. Y'all know why I don't like Jay-Z. Yeah, Wise Intelligent is my dude. He'll probably come in number 6. Wise Intelligent is my dude. Extracted from the Poor Righteous Teacher, but that's my dude. And Ice Cube, yeah, Ice Cube is the man. MC Ren got some joints out that was cold. But DMX was my dude, man. DMX used to be the GOAT to me for the longest. But y'all know what, man? I done been chopping it up with y'all, man. The phone about to die and everything about to go crazy. I'm on the phone, and I got somebody that's supposed to be coming in here for a session. So, you know, I got to get this gym ready, get ready to kill him real quick. Y'all know how that go, man. It's always good chopping it up with you all. Again, like I said, we 7 days straight, so I'm gonna probably be on again tomorrow. Ain't no telling what we gonna chop it up about. But I got to get here and get this gym ready, man. Y'all be eastful. I said eastful. Y'all be peaceful. Y'all stay healthy out here, man. Enjoy this Friday, man. Peace, y'all.